Men of Reddit, what was the moment that instantly made you lose your crush on someone? When she, the most promiscuous woman I've dated, dropped the bomb of my religion doesn't allow contraceptives, and I don't believe in condoms. Bitch, do not talk to me, or my penis ever again. Finding out that she had a girlfriend. I have no problem with gay people or anything, I'm just a guy who knows when to give up. Hearing how she talks about her friends and her sister when they aren't around all the time. She had that toxic personality trait, but I'm the woman. I'm the prize. You should be grateful I'm even considering giving you pussy. No, young lady. You are a prize, and so am I. Edit. Gendered insult cause I was in my feelings. She got a ferret. I knew she couldn't take care of a ferret. She lost the ferret. I realized she wasn't a fully formed human being. She went around bragging to people that I had a crush on her. Don't know what you'll think about that, but that's a doubt she moved to me. Edit/update. Bonus story. This is how I found out she was telling people. She told one of her friends, who goes to school with someone at a camp I'm currently enrolled in, and she told me. Wake up beer. Shower beer. On the way to work beer. 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 Alcoholism. She threw trash on the floor. When I turned her down for a simple hookup and she said, nobody turns me down. Passive aggression turned up to 11. I got sober. Long-time crush of 8 years finally came over after dinner and about an hour of chatting. This gem came up. Ugh, science. It's so clear that science is a lie. There's no way the earth is round, and I'm not saying it's flat, but I think it just goes on forever, and saying it doesn't is an excuse for people to be lazy. I just hate that in school we were taught these lies about gravity and physics, and I wish schools would stay out of our heads with all that. Trust me, I pushed the topic a bit, certain there was some joke here. The conversation only got worse about how the American government at some point decided to make all of this science up, including STDs. Edit. Yes, I sometimes pretend this was a really clever way to reject me. That would have been nicer. When she sprayed a homeless guy who was sleeping in the entryway by her house with a hose in freezing temperatures. I was excited for an invitation to her place until I had to worry if I was an accessory to murder. What she did was so unbelievable that I didn't think fast enough to stop her, and he booked it out of there, so I didn't get to make it right. She always wanted to sit in the bottom rows in the theater about 10 feet from the screen. She didn't know how to order off of menu. What happened? Standard Mexican restaurant for lunch. So rather than looking over the menu she glances at one section of one page then when time to order and just tell the waiter how she wants her burrito and to add rice and beans for the sides. So by the time she's done with her overly complicated order she racked up a $20 burrito in a place that averages $8 lunches. On top of that I'm pretty sure how she ordered it was on the actual lunch menu. She did this twice in the same restaurant and complained about the price both times. When she used me to travel, we went to a different country to visit my family, had a great time. I had a crush on her. Then after coming back home I was completely ignored. It hurt. I pushed myself into ignoring her. She brought her dog to my house without asking and fed it Chipotle before she brought it over. My whole house smelled like rancid dog shit for about a week after I kicked her out. When she said, well, I'm gonna be a great mom because I'm never vaccinating my kids. First anti-vaxxer I've ever met, wasn't quite sure how to react. When she fake laughs. That shit is annoying. When she informed me that she hated cats, not allergic, just didn't like them, and that I'd have to choose between my devoted buddy and her. She couldn't believe that my furry friend triumphed, and that I was actually happy to see her go. Yeah, I'm mildly allergic to cats. My fiance wanted one. I didn't because I like using my nose, so we compromised, and she got one. We went out on a nice nature date and she complained that all the men in our town suffered from Peter Pan syndrome and just wanted to have fun and not grow up and get real jobs. We both worked in the low-paying service industry, so it was confusing, insulting, and hypocritical, not to mention just overall judgmental. Then she lit a cigarette and poof crushed. I went on a date maybe like a week ago, and all she would do is make nasty comments about Republicans. I tried to steer the conversation to other topics, but she kept constantly going back and being super critical of anything conservative. I'm a pretty staunch liberal, but hating Trump isn't a personality. This is so true. Doesn't matter man or woman, Republican or Democrat, someone with perpetual anger and hate spewing out of them is not an attractive person to date. This kind of attitude broadcasts that you expect agreement or compliance. Without it, expect consequences. Who would want to date someone like that? Baby voice. When she wasn't interested in me, IDK. If she wasn't into me, it may be a good sign. At least she's got good taste in partners. When they sent a romantic poem to me, but it was actually for another person, they just needed to see if it was good enough. She came on pretty strong and shared some really obsessed thoughts about me. Should have been a red flag, but I was young and had a big crush on her for a while. Next day, everyone told me she said I said those things and was really obsessed. That one woke me up enough to walk away. I'm not the richest person in the world, nor in my friend group really, but I drove my mom's old van to get to places. Well, it was her graduation day and I get invited, so of course I go and everything is fine. But soon a giant storm happens outside, so when it finished people had to run to their cars trying not to get wet and drive home. Problem is my mom's old van doesn't do well in storm conditions, and especially with the likes of the one that happened. So she saw me standing there outside and walked by and jokingly said that's what you get for being poor hahaha and leaves. Everyone left and I was standing there for 2 hours waiting for it to clear up. I cut communications with her and all her friends. I love humor, but what she did just hurt really. Edit. So some of you asked why didn't I just avoid the storm, but let me clarify that the van can go through rain like normal and even heavy rain. However, I wouldn't trust that van to go through a tropical storm, which the building was in the center of, and I live 30 minutes from the place. It's a special event, so I thought I'd stop by, cause I liked her and whatnot. Also, I was not standing in the rain. I waited outside the building in a drop-off area while the car was in the parking lot. And yeah, poor jokes could be funny, but what she did was a direct insult. Hopefully, this clears it up, and sorry if I worded it wrong earlier. She said if smart people were poor, productivity would increase, because minimum wage jobs wouldn't be filled with so many dullards. Drove drunk to meet us at a party/bar. Immediate turn off for me. Shows very poor decision making skills, and just establishes themselves as a reckless liability. She asked me for money for a video game console she wants, when she has a job, and is perfectly capable of paying for it herself. Bitch, I'm a human being, not your personal money tree. Fun story time. So I was seeing this girl, pretty cool, into some stuff I couldn't have around me, so I kinda held her at a distance, but she told me she was stopping the rec drugs. So I meet with her at the mall, and we are hanging out. We go into VS, and she's picking out all these sexy things and we get to the register, ring everything up, and she looks at me, and kinda nods her head towards the payment machine. I say what? She replies, aren't you paying? I laughed my way all the way to my car. Like no, I'm not buying $280 worth of clothes for a girl I've hung out with 3 times. I asked her to the dance, and she said no. Days later, when her ex didn't ask her to the dance, like she hoped he would, she said to me, okay, I'll go to the dance with you now. Assuming my offer was still on the table. She was obviously using me as a safety date, and I lost all interest in her at that moment. I thought she was so perfect before, but then I realized she could be just as ugly as anyone else. Edit. I was hoping to leave this part out, but since you guys are asking, yes, I went with her, and I regret it. We had 2 quick dances and the rest of the night she went off somewhere. I couldn't even find her at the end of the night, and ended up dancing with a female friend for the last dance. When she told me all she does for fun is smoke weed and drink. I down for that, but that's it. I went to a concert with this girl and she took about 50 selfies during the show. It would seem that vanity is a major turn off for me. We met for dinner and were generally having a good time. Near the end she tells me I'm glad we did this, but if we are going to keep seeing each other this way, I'm going to need you to quit your job and move in with me. Not find a closer place and a job in her city, but straight up live in boyfriend. I work as an engineer making pretty good money, shsabagger at a grocery store in the area. When I asked why, she replied with something about subverting the stereotypical gender norms in a relationship something. I'm all down for future GF/wife holding a job and doing what she loves, but this was a couple steps too far. Said that wouldn't work with me because I like my job, drove her back to her apartment, and never seen her again. She told me she doesn't believe in dinosaurs and that all the museums are just hoaxes to make money. She said that the movie Teeth was a true story that actually happened. Noped out of that.